Hi, so I wanted to make a video because I haven't in quite a long time on this channel. And I thought I would do one on the myths and stereotypes of self-harm. And the first thing I wanted to talk about is I've got my little list typed up on the myths. And the first one is usually self-harming is attention seeking. Okay, now to me, self-harming is definitely not attention-seeking if you don't show anyone. Stripping naked and running down the high street would be attention-seeking. But self-harming is very private and personal. People who self-harm often go to great lengths to cover up their injuries. The attention that self-harming does bring is often negative, and it definitely doesn't help to relieve distress. Positive attention, such as lending an ear and listening, can help someone who is experiencing distress and dealing with the pressures of everyday life. And so self-harming isn't usually a cry for help, it's just if you tell someone that you're self-harming, it isn't a cry for help, it's just that you want people to understand and that you're hurting, not because you want attention. Okay, the second one is people who self-harm are suicidal. Okay, people who self-harm aren't usually trying to kill themselves. For many, it's a coping mechanism used to survive, not die. Just because you self-harm, it doesn't mean that you are suffering from a severe mental illness either. Although there is a relationship between self-harm and suicide, many more people self-harm than kill themselves. It's the feelings behind the stress they want to get rid of. However, some people who self-harm also have suicidal feelings or are not sure if they want to live or die. And as a result, an episode of self-harm. Sometimes, if you don't really badly, self-harm can cause accidental death. That doesn't mean it was necessarily deliberate. Okay, the next one. It's only a teenage thing, you'll grow out of it. Okay, it's not easy to say exactly how many people self-harm, and it's definitely not just something that affects young people. If somebody is hurting themselves, either by cutting, repeatedly banging their heads, or anything like that, it's a sign that something is seriously bothering them. They need help and somebody to listen to them. If not, the problem may become more serious over time. Self-harm isn't really the problem. The problem is what's causing the self-harm in the first place. We wouldn't have to deal with self-harm if there weren't bullies and pressures around us and things. Also, this kind of links into my next one, which is all self-harmers are emo. And I don't even believe emo is real. I don't think stereotypes are real. I think you just this, that, and the other. You don't really fit into something. I think that's really stupid. But I definitely, if people find out about me, one of my biggest fears is them instantly thinking that I am emo or something, and because I have a fringe as well, that doesn't help. It doesn't go over my eye or gothic or anything. I don't think so anyway. But I'd still be a bit scared about that. So I'm sure there are lots of adults that do it. I know 2 adults, one that did do it when they were 19, which is kind of adult, and one that I don't know how long ago he did do it, but yeah, also he's a guy, so guys who self-harm, listen to this, he is a guy. Anyway, I don't know if I have any adults watching me, probably not. Hopefully I have a couple. It wouldn't be unlikely because, as I said, it's not just a teenage thing. Okay, next one. People who self-harm could stop if they wanted to. Okay, self-harm can become a habitual or addictive behavior for some people. Telling somebody to just stop it will not work and could possibly alienate them further. They need help and understanding to recover and learn other strategies for coping with emotional pain and stressful situations. And most people just I wish that I never started, because it does become an addiction. I still think about it. and I'm sure lots and lots and lots of people do, and you scream so loud inside that, you know, it's very, very, very hard to get out of. You cannot just stop, you know. It's like a drug. It releases endorphins in your body that you get addicted to. Also, as I said, it can become habitual. Like, you can get into a cycle where you self-harm, then you hate yourself for it, so you self-harm, then you hate yourself for it, and that's habitual. It isn't even an addiction then. But anyway, next is people who self-harm have been abused. While some people who have been physically, sexually, or emotionally abused may self-harm, it would be wrong to assume that that's the case for everybody. I know lots of people who haven't had that kind of stuff happen to them and do still do that kind of stuff. There are many different triggers, and often young people find it difficult, and not just young people, often people find it difficult to pinpoint the exact thing that causes them to self-harm in the first place. For many, self-harming is a way to cope, to release tension, stress, or pressure. Seeking professional help can enable those who self-harm to get to the root of the problem. So, yeah, that would be, I don't know what else to say there. Okay, next one. Self-harm is when you cut yourself. Okay, cutting is only one form of self-harm, and although it's one of the most common reported forms, there are other ways that people may hurt themselves intentionally. This might be hair pulling, head banging, scratching, burning, overdosing, breaking your own bones, which is very rare, but some people do it. And I think that actually also drinking, taking drugs, smoking, that's all self-harm. Eating disorders, those are all self-harm because you are harming yourself, obviously. The next one is the wound isn't that bad, so the problem can't be that bad. So it's like, if you see someone with really deep, scarring forever things, apparently that's worse, and that person's problem is worse than someone who maybe just scratches. If somebody has the courage to tell you that they self-harm, it's incredibly important that you do take them seriously, regardless of how severe or not the injury is there. Your reaction may have a tremendous impact on them, so tread carefully. Because, like, it does not make a difference. I mean, in some ways, I can see why it would. It's like, there's this girl in my class, she does these weird little scratch things, and then she kind of rolls up her sleeve and says, oh yeah, you know, look what I've done, and it's like attention seeking. But for someone to be so desperate for attention that they are willing to hurt their own body, then sometimes you shouldn't just ignore them. You should pay them attention. But yeah, as I said, tread carefully. The next one. If you have self-harm, you have borderline personality disorder. Okay, BPD is a really complicated condition, and there's loads of debate among mental health experts about what it is and how to treat it. Some people argue that it's a diagnosis and it has little meaning, that labeling someone as having it is not useful, and I don't think it's very useful. The self-harm can be a feature of it, but only as part of a complex set of other features. If someone is diagnosed as having a borderline personality disorder, they will still need treatment and support that deals with the underlying emotional issues and patterns of behaviour, as with all mental health problems. So it definitely does not mean that, particularly if you're a teenager, and I remember ages ago, I got in contact with this doctor over the internet, and she told me that she thought I had BDP, and I panicked, and actually, no, I definitely don't, just because I self-harm, and it doesn't mean that you do. I think it's an unnecessary label because the diagnosis is too vague. But yeah, that's that. I only have about 5 seconds left, so I hope this was helpful. Don't believe those stupid myths. You're not emo, you're not BDP. Bye bye.